and welcome to my top 5 all moments from the French Grand Prix. I'm Beatrice from MotorLAT, and today we will go through 5 moments that were shocking and exciting at the same time from the first leg of the triple header. So in P5 we have Fernando Alonso's angry team radio where he stated he had no tyres, no brakes, and he wasn't even in the points, and that's a bit of a lack of endurance, which is cute coming from Le Mans, but at the same time it's perfectly understandable from a flawless weekend. Having to jump into reality, going back to the same old troublesome McLaren is very hard, and we all felt for Fernando Alonso. But anyway, his team radio rants are always much appreciated because we see a very fiery and irate Fernando Alonso, which is always very funny and entertaining, but at the same time we all know that he deserves more. A champion of his caliber truly deserves a decent seat, especially in the pinnacle of motorsport. And moving on to P4, we have the striking contrast between Kevin Magnussen and his teammate Romain Grosjean, who once again was one of the protagonists of first lap drama alongside Sebastian Vettel and also the other French drivers who ruled themselves out of the race. Actually, Kevin Magnussen scored a point finish, which was very solid, and after 8 races he has collected 27 points, whereas his teammate is still at 0, which is actually worrying because it was also due to mechanical problems, team dynamics problems, but also he committed so many mistakes, and yesterday was one of them. In fact, he got penalized, and that basically ruined his race once for all. But I wonder what is going on with Romain Grosjean and what is going through his mind right now, because if he goes down this road, the team is very unlikely to promote him or even give him a contract to sign for next season, because it really makes him not credible anymore. He's such an experienced driver, and Kevin Magnussen, who is not actually a perfect and flawless example of a team player and a very clean and fair driver, he's actually a very strong deliverer at this point. So he's overshadowing his teammate by all means, and that's very worrying. If I were Romain Grosjean, I would be massively worried. And moving on to P3, now we have this driver that, you know guys, I am very hard with this driver, but yesterday he was the author of a perfect performance, and I'm talking about Carlos Sainz, who was P3 at the start. He took full advantage of Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas' absence, and he was actually taking and grabbing the moment. He was third and he held on to it, and he was actually going for a very strong result even at the end until he got that problem. He got a power unit failure, or somewhat an issue which was related to the power. And then if it wasn't for the virtual safety car, he would have probably ended far from the point zone. But actually that problem, which was linked to Lance Stroll tyre explosion, which was rather mysterious, that actually saved his race, and he actually deserved so much more after yesterday, where he got a brilliant start and he was able to overshadow Nico Hülkenberg, his teammate, who at the beginning of the season seemed to have got the right end of the stick, unlike him, but yesterday was very impressive. So props to him and congratulations. Hopefully he will bounce back from this and he will get more points next time, because at the moment I'm really starting to rate him quite highly. And moving on to P2, we have the amazing and phenomenal Charles Leclerc, who once again made a miracle, if we can say so, at qualifying. He got into Q3 and he was able to qualify in P8, which was so amazing. That was a proper all moment. And yesterday he finished in P10, 1 more point in the bag, stating that he's ready to be promoted. He was a bit too hard on himself yesterday when he said that he committed a slight mistake which cost him 1 more position which he could have probably finished in. But I suggest him not to be so hard on himself. He did such a great job, and he should be so proud of the rumours that are actually seeing him directly linked to Ferrari, which, by the way, at the end of the season is almost very likely to say goodbye to Kimi Raikkonen and welcome this fresh and very talented driver who actually deserves a seat. He's basically he's been doing so well, much more than his teammate Marcus Ericsson, even though he's had his moments, he's been delivering too, but Charles Leclerc is actually on another level, and he keeps on impressing the Ferrari team as well as the Alfa Romeo Sauber team, which is growing so much thanks to his results and also to the whole cooperation of the team, which is actually brilliant. After seeing the way they started the season, I remember them at Barcelona winter testing where the car had actually some serious balance problems, and now the car is improving so much, and it's safe to say that they have become a stable midfielder, which is rather satisfying for the whole team and for their drivers as well. So congratulations once again to Charles Leclerc. And moving on to the top all moment overall, we have Sebastian Vettel taking out the not guilty at all, as some people had to argue about that anyway, Valtteri Bottas. Actually, Sebastian Vettel yesterday was a victim of so much pressure. He qualified third. He had all of the pressure of his team on his shoulders, and he had actually the task to overtake the two Mercedes at the start, or even fight to get the position on at least one of the two drivers. And yesterday, even earlier than the second corner, he did not manage to do so, and he actually impacted and crashed into Valtteri Bottas, which was so unfortunate. We could see the weakness of the mental state of Sebastian Vettel in that moment. He actually doesn't know what to do sometimes when he's starting from behind, not even when he's on the front row. He's actually no pressure, he's very much concentrated, he keeps his head down. But then if he doesn't qualify in a top spot, then you can see that his mental organization is starting to crumble, and that's basically what happened yesterday, which is not actually very promising looking at the championship, which obviously there's still a long way to go, but we can see that he's starting to crumble and walk in a very, very precarious way, if we could say so. So that's actually a bit of an alarm for Ferrari. It's not obviously comparable to Baku, to what happened last year, but in terms of maturity, we could still see the comparison going on and actually working, because Sebastian Vettel, whenever he sees some pressure, he's the first one that crumbles and crashes, literally. So that was a very huge all moment, also because I feel for Valtteri Bottas. He's been battered all year long. He's never had any decent amount of luck. Even at Baku, he was on the verge of winning when his tyre just gave up, and at the moment he's not even able to match his teammate. Even at qualifying, he was second, and then he could have got the job done, but he just couldn't simply do it. And that's actually very painful and disheartening, especially when you saw him at the beginning of the season, who was actually outdoing his teammate. So hopefully luck will start smiling at him, because he really deserves it at this point. So hopefully he will get his payback in Austria, where he won last year. And guys, let me know what you think, what your 5 moments are, and I will see you very soon, because the Austrian Grand Prix is just right behind the corner.